Hey everyone, welcome back to the video. My name is James, and you might have noticed over the past few days a few recent changes here on this channel. So, to begin with, we've actually changed the name to Full Circle. And the reason for Full Circle is that we're now going to be releasing a podcast. And this podcast is dedicated to providing a dialogue into professionals who exist within the architecture world. Could be architects, photographers, filmmakers, anyone within the architectural umbrella that has something to say. So we're actually going to be having them on Zoom. We're going to be using either Zoom or Microsoft Teams to interview them. You might have noticed as well that we have had a software upgrade. We are now using the Shure MV7 microphone. We've got a microphone arm, and we've also got a Camlink 4K Elgato. I think it's like a DSLR connected to the computer through HDMI. The reason for this is I have actually drafted out a previous meeting that I did with a guy called Jim Stephenson. Jim is a really great guy. He's given me loads of advice on podcasting, along with another YouTuber called Oliver at Upstairs. Some of you might know him from architecture tutorials. And essentially with Jim, what happened was we tried out the podcast. I invited him on. Great guy. Had a great chat with Jim. And the podcast was going really well. I thought he smashed it on the first try. Obviously, I've never done podcasting or anything like that before. So we did it over Zoom. We did it over Zoom initially. And, reviewed all his work. Looked through all the sort of photographs, looked through a few films, talked about them all, discussed them all. And it was a really good interview. And we were going to upload it. And essentially, that was going to be the first of the Full Circle. And there is another part to Full Circle, but we're going to get onto that in a later video. It's a bit of a surprise for now. So then coming into post-editing now, and I'm realising that none of the footage that we've taken is usable. Because for some reason there was a static with I believe it was my webcam, was being picked up by my camera microphone. And that was causing literally an audio sound that I just could not get rid of for the life of me. I've tried using denoiser on Premiere Pro. I tried using so many different softwares to actually clear this noise. And it sounds like someone's phone is going off inside the video. It was horrendous, and we filmed the video on the Friday, and I spent the full weekend actually just completely editing the footage, trying to make it work. And Jim was so kind as to actually send me his recorded sort of segment that we did, because we had to split it in half because it went over 40 minutes on Zoom. I know it's a bit of a nightmare, and that problem has now been rectified. So we went through all this, then got to the point where I just couldn't upload it. I didn't want to upload half an interview with Jim because we actually talked and touched on some really interesting topics in that video. I'm not going to spoil it for you just yet because we will be actually covering them in a later video. Jim has actually spoke to Jim a few days ago, and he has actually said that yes, let's do another interview. And we've said about 2 months from now, because 2 months from now will give me a good chance to discover the process, as I'm sort of doing now in a way, where I'm figuring out how I want to talk to YouTube, whether this is going to be uploaded onto YouTube or straight onto an audio podcast. I'm still figuring that out. And I'm currently also updating the Full Circle website, so another learning curve for myself, which was pretty horrendous as well. So I've got my James Owen Jones one, and James Owen Jones is a portfolio essentially for masters as a part one. Your next step is to go to masters. And the reason this webpage was to essentially send it to all of the people who I'm looking at going to masters to, like MSA, potentially Bartlett, maybe Bath, University of Westminster. There's loads of really good universities that I'd like to send this webpage to. And so on my WordPress, I thought that if I did a page for every post, then that would essentially be a post. But to my surprise, when I actually launched Full Circle, fullcirclearch.com, I think it was, I actually figured out that your posts are meant to go in your blogs, and that your blog is meant to be your page, and essentially all the posts filter down, and then you can actually share them through SEO and essentially link your page to Google. So what I'm trying to say is James Owen Jones and FullCircleArch.com, whichever one it was, were not actually linked to Google. Well, I mean, they were if you typed in the link specifically, but apart from that, no, they're not. So that was another learning curve, which was, I mean, it really shocked me when I had to pretty much redesign the website and upload it. So now we're looking at doing an alternate server, essentially for Full Circle, because that seems to be the only solution I can come to where I've got my email for Full Circle, and then I also have the web page, and it's essentially all in one. Because I remember last time I split linked it between GoDaddy and WordPress, and that caused me so many problems because I initially did it independently on WordPress, but now I've done it on GoDaddy. So everything's through GoDaddy now, which is a million times better. It's so much smoother, so much more reactive. I think it's like 24/7 support line. I actually spoke to one of them this morning regarding the DNS. There's honestly so much more benefit to using one platform and running it straight the way through. So we're looking at putting it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, which I'm really looking forward to. And I'm actually really liking using the mic as well, because the mic has a feedback, so I can hear how I sound in my headphones, whereas when I was doing it with the camera you sort of had to pick it up in post and sort of hope for the best. Whereas I think what we're going to do now is alternate it between this sort of podcast setup where you'll see me either talking to you like this, or we will actually alternate it to have the work that I'm reviewing. And we could do this exactly the same way, as the work will be displayed on the screen. I'll sort of talk you through it on the side as we've done previously, or maybe even the mic moves. I mean, the mic can move pretty much anywhere, so it's quite an adaptable setup for what it is. I think primarily from probably this episode, I'd say videos are going to be filmed here, just because of all the gear that I've got now, where it's a lot of hassle to be moving it back into the studio. I know the studio has got its own camera, but I want to get the most out of my microphone. I'm really enjoying using it. I've used it on a couple of Zoom calls already, a couple of Teams calls, and I literally was ringing up my friends on Discord, just flexing on the mic. Because before I had the a Microsoft Lite headset, which I've had for about 3 years, and it is a £20 headset, and one day the ear snapped off, and so I was literally using it with one ear and the mic, and I can't tell you how ridiculous I must have looked in these Zoom calls with my tutors and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, we were there, now we're here, so I'm really happy. We got a few more batteries as well for the camera. Honestly, like, I'm thinking that, just taking on part one alone is a massive learning curve in terms of your Reba stages, everything that you go through. There's so much to learn in today's world, which maybe I'm a bit naive in terms of thinking that everything's going to be a straight edge and it's going to be easy for me to pick it up. But YouTube, massive learning curve. After speaking to Oliver from upstairs, I mean, that guy was literally showed me all his analytics, showed me how everything works, talked me through thumbnails, video titles. The guy, he does full-time YouTube now. You must have seen some of his YouTube tutorials. I'll link them in the description below. But honestly, the guy, I'm so grateful. We got on Zoom. We actually got on Google Meet. We got on Google Meet together, and the guy was so nice, so polite, and got on really well. I said, let's do an interview when we hit 1,000 subscribers, and he agreed. So that's gonna be really good. And essentially, he'll kind of come in the sense of like a YouTube mentor. So we're gonna speak every now and then, sort of have a catch up. And I know he's doing an event called MadCon. MadCon's going to be the world's first architecture virtual convention, I believe. So if you're actually free on, I think it's this Saturday, then get onto that. I'll share the links for that in the description below as well. I know other famous YouTubers like Thomas Roundtree are going on there. Show It Better's going on there. I think he's actually doing a portfolio review with Upstairs. So that is not one to miss. So definitely get on that if you're free on the weekend. Definitely something worth watching. And yeah, I mean, Oliver, we walked through everything, went through my whole YouTube channel, and it was actually really interesting because at the start of all my videos, I've been a bit naive again. I keep using the word naive, but I can't really think of a better word at the minute to say than naive. But I've gone in with the impression that everyone will know straight away what Symbol City is, and most people don't. Most people don't have a clue. If someone's searching for an architecture crit or something along them lines, then they're going to search for an architecture crit. They're not going to search for a Symbol City. What is it? And that was the kind of setback I had, and it was the same with the work-life stuff as well. At least in this format, it's really easy for me to record because everything's linked now. I don't have to do any post-editing. Literally, it's all linked. The microphone's linked, my headset's linked, the camera's linked. So, it's definitely worth the investment I've put into it. And another benefit of the mic is that you get that buttery, crisp vocal. And my voice might sound a million times different to what it is on the camera, which I'm actually going to find pretty funny, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, this is just a catch up to say full circle 2021. I'm really looking forward to it. I think through YouTube I've actually connected with a lot of great people. Jim Stephenson took photos for the AJ, released many films with say Piers Taylor and Sarah Wigglesworth. I met Jim, met Oliver. I've spoke to, I'd say probably 30 people since sort of starting YouTube, who I would never expect to actually have communication with. And everyone in this community is really nice. They're really open to sort of sharing ideas, talking about things. And I mean, I've only got 16 subscribers at the minute, I think. So I'm not sort of messaging these people and expecting a reply in a way, but they're actually coming back to me and they're providing me feedback, saying what I can do better, what I can do more of, and it's really nice, really motivating to actually see that people want you to succeed in this game. And I think the biggest problem with it is consistency. And it's the same with anything in life, you've got to keep watering the seed until it grows. And I'm looking forward to the set of podcasts that we've got coming up. I'm not going to spill the beans on the whole Full Circle retreat just yet, but it's going to be really good. I've got a great feeling about it, and I'm really looking forward to it. I also have got something else lined up in the pipeline, but I can't really talk about it just yet as well. So it's exciting times, really exciting times, and I'm really looking forward to just documenting it, sharing it, and really just bringing some good content to the actual YouTube channel. And I mean, I just can't stop talking because the feedback in the mic, it just sounds too good. But yeah, thank you very much for watching the video. That was just a quick update. So this will probably be Work Life 03, I think. And the Work Life might be set out like this from now on. I'm not too sure. I mean, my hair, look at my hair, man. My hair is growing so long. We've got Frank the plant over there. I literally did this with my mate the other day and probably spent about 10 minutes trying to point Frank out, Got my books here. We've got quite a nice backdrop here at the minute, so I think I like it. I think it's working well, and yeah, we'll have to just see where this journey goes. I think we'll have to see in the future. I'll get my crystal ball out and we can have a look. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm feeling really positive about it, and thank you to everyone for the support. Thank you to everyone who spoke to me over the past month and given me support and feedback on things to do. Really appreciated it, and yeah, we can only go up from here, my friends. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.